Tell me a little bit about Zip Zap, about the Moya branch of Zip Zap, but more so the mission and the start of Zip Zap.
Okay, well, my wife Laurence and I started Zip Zap in 1992. So I'm from South Africa. My wife is from Paris, France. I left South Africa in the 70s to be a flying trapeze artist around the world. Met her along the way, taught her trapeze. We ended up performing in her hometown in Paris on a circus there. And then at the end of the season, I said, come on, I'll show you my hometown in Cape Town, South Africa, for 6 weeks. And we came for 6 weeks and stayed 32 years. And kind of strange because I'd been away from home for a long time. And when we got home in 92, Nelson Mandela had just been released. People were leaving like crazy. And everybody thought there was going to be a civil war, if you like. And I don't know, we just said, well, why don't we stick around and see if we can try to make a difference and put our 2 cents in and use circus as a tool to bridge gaps between kids, from all backgrounds and cultures. So in 1992, we set out with about 15 or the kids from different backgrounds, and we, put on a little, taught them, put on a show. It worked really well. And one thing led to another. And 2 years later, we went on our first circus tour with about 20 kids. And so the mission was really to bridge gaps. And we were doing it, even before the first elections. So, it was like we were only going to stay for 6 months, and 6 months led to another 6 months. And then in 1995, we had this incredible opportunity. We were performing at this big festival, and we were invited to perform at Nelson Mandela's birthday. And so we packed up everything and drove all the way up to Johannesburg. And then in 95, we went to perform at his 77th birthday. And then we got to meet Nelson Mandela, and, he was chatting to us and saying, why are you doing this? And we were like, well, we want to be part of your dream of the Rainbow Nation, and we want to make a difference. And we had it great. And he met all the kids. And then at the end of it, he said to us, well, keep up the good work. So coming from Nelson Mandela, we had to keep our promise. So
there you go. That's awesome. So beginnings coming from your experience, and then going back home, looking to make a difference. Now branching into the United States, I can appreciate a lot of what I was reading on your website earlier, and part of what you just said too, the bridging the gaps, the Rainbow Nation, the opportunity to reach different facets of youth culture. I think here in the States, it's very much the idea from generations prior to mine, but even when I grew up, it was lots of like, find your lane, do sports, do these sorts of things. There's a lot more opportunities to celebrate the arts and celebrate the other lanes that kids can get involved in. And now, as a parent of two boys that live in the same household, have the same upbringing, but have very different interests. One of them is tough and rumble and will run through a wall to play sports, and the other is getting into theater and arts. So for me specifically, having opportunities like this that are accessible to showcase other lanes, other activities that kids can get involved in and turn into passions, turn into learning experiences, maybe a career, but more so just to teach them the balance. Tell me a little bit about the beauty that you've seen come from the impact that this organization, that you and your outfit have had on that younger generation for generations now.
Well, firstly, when we started out, as I said, we had like 15 kids to start, in 1992. I mean, today Zip Zap has 9 programs with over 3,000 students coming into those 9 programs every year, and the school is free. So it's very accessible from that point of view. Secondly, the nice thing about circus is that every kid of all shapes and sizes can come. We don't have talent auditions. And there's a place in the circus for every kid. If that's what they want to do, we'll find a place. And our mission isn't really to churn out circus professionals, performers. Really, we think the values that they learn at the school, with the teamwork and the trusting each other and understanding each other's cultures and respect and learning about each other in normal life, most of these kids wouldn't get the opportunity to meet, So the value system is very important to us. And the fact that, we've on our fourth generation of kids already, we've seen so many kids. Some have become stars of the Sawdust Ring and some have not. But the lessons they take home, we think, last long after lessons from classrooms are forgotten. So I just, I think it's been an incredible journey. It has been quite an organic process for Laurence and I, because we had no idea what we were getting into when we started, and that Zip Zap was going to become what it is. And Zip Zap being a social circus school, making social impact on the youth. When we started in 92, there were 10 social circus schools in the world. Now there's, 870 countries, reaching 1.5 million children. I mean, it's incredible how the whole circus school dynamic has taken off in terms of social circus and professional circus schools.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. It's beautiful. You're getting some physical acting, you're getting some teamwork, you're getting the family culture that is created within the circus group. I saw on the website an image that's a pyramid, if you will, that kind of highlights the levels of Zip Zap. And it goes through, like you said, the free circus school where you can, it's accessible for all, and it goes all the way up to Moya, which is the professional outfit which is coming to the Children's Theater here in Minneapolis. Accessibility, again, is a focal point even for the professional level, where there's not a whole lot of dialogue. You don't need to be affluent English speaking to experience it. You don't have to be an adult able to read. Tell me a little bit about how you've taken the professional level of Moya and kind of put that together to be accessible for children's theaters and audiences of all ages as well.
Correct. And firstly, I'd like to just say that a picture paints 1,000 words. So, we believe we're painting with acrobatics, with trapeze, with juggling, with bodies. Moya is the sort of the last step of the ladder, if you want. If you go through from the junior programs and you stick it out at Zip Zap and you work your way up into the Zappers, which is the young performing group of students that still go to school. And then you want to take it to the next level. You go to what we call our Dare to Dream program, which is a full-time vocational training program that's over 3 to 4 years. And then you get to the Moya level. So the Moya, traditionally, what happened at Zip Zap, the kids who wanted to become professional performers left Zip Zap and went to work in circuses around the world. Some made it to Cirque du Soleil, some made it to Universal Circus in America, into Europe. And then a few years ago, a couple of the guys said, why don't we start our own show? And then just as we were about to get underway, COVID happened. And our oldest daughter, I must say, is instrumental in the whole Moya idea, because she's been living in Montreal for the past 11 years and has worked for Seven Fingers, and she's a very accomplished aerialist and has her own show now. But she came out here during COVID, and because we couldn't do live performances, she helped, her and a partner, Brent, created this movie called Moya, a contemporary art film using the older circus performers. And that went on to win 3 awards in the United States, the movie. And then our daughter, in her wisdom, said, well, Dad, why don't you make it into a live performance? If you want to create a professional touring wing of Zip Zap, this is a great story, because the Moya story is actually about some kids' lives at Zip Zap and how they got into it. Kids, for example, from the street. So the lead character in Moya is a kid playing a street kid who finds the circus group of people and gets into the system and part of the family, but it's actually not an actor playing a role. It's a street kid playing his own life story.
Wow.
So it's very powerful, and the message, it's really about that any kid given an opportunity who is passionate about something, but just given a platform, can make it. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, if you're black or white. If you're afforded the opportunity, no matter what your background, and you work hard and you're part of the team, the world stage is yours. And quite a few of the kids in the Moya team come from that kind of environment. So, and Zip Zap has just been the launching platform, but it's also really about determination and about not giving up and about hard work and then in the show we also do a little bit of rap written by one of the performers and performed by one of the performers, which kind of tells the story of starting with nothing, but one day you could be president.
Yeah, it's an amazing story and amazing point to do that. You on the website, it talks a lot about the Zip Zap spirit. Is that kind of what that is? The opportunity to understand your potential, unlock your potential?
Well, the word Moya in Xhosa means spirit.
Okay.
So the show is called Spirit, but in Xhosa. So, and Zulu, in fact. That's why we call it, because we are a Zip Zap, if maybe not technically the best circus school in the world, but boy, the kids have got spirit, and that's, I think that is a kind of a Zip Zap trait, and we are known for never giving up, and we always tell the kids, if you fall down, stand up, look the audience in the eye, and just say, I'll do it again, and do it again, and that's really I think that for me is more important than being a perfect artist is actually to give everything you got and have fun while you're doing it and believe in what you do. That's why Moya is Moya.
That's amazing. As an individual who can barely do a cartwheel, I'm gleaning all these life lessons that you're highlighting that are part of this experience. Tell me a little bit about the Zip Zap USA experience. Now that you said started in South Africa, the arm that has come to the USA, how has that been going, and what has that experience been like, taking it into different countries?
Well, it's amazing because we launched it in South Africa last year. Then we've done one little short international tour. We went to the island of Mauritius in January this year. It went really well. And, we made the video of the show and sent it out there just to see if anybody would. And, the Children's Theatre came straight back to us and said, wow, this is a great piece of work, we'd really like to have it. And we were like, yeah. We got our first contract, and then subsequently to that, we're going to France straight from there for 2 months. So we went touring France for a month, and then in Paris for a month. Then we go to Reunion, back to Mauritius, and then we spend 3 weeks at the New Victory Theatre in New York early next year. So we on the world stage, and we're coming.
Yeah, that's awesome. In Minnesota, the Children's Theatre Minnesota gets it on the early side of that. That's an amazing opportunity. What can people do to help support Zip Zap, to get involved in Zip Zap? What are some things tangibly that people here in the States, or anyone who's listening to this interview around the world, can get involved with?
Well, we do have a charity number in the United States. So obviously we are a nonprofit organization. And we rely on donations and grants. Like I said, the school is absolutely free. Nobody pays, whether you're rich or poor. And then the shows. We do a lot of shows in South Africa, and that helps generate income as well. But we do rely on donations, which are tax deductible in the US and in France, where my wife's from. What I'd really like to say to anybody listening, if you're in the area, please come and see the show. Because I promise you won't leave disappointed.
Yeah, that's amazing. If you are interested, for those listening, to check out the show, childrenstheatre.org. You can get your tickets now. The show runs September 12th through October 20th here in Minnesota, so plenty of opportunities to come out and check it out. Support Zip Zap, support the mission. See some amazing acrobatics and heart, as you mentioned, Brent, on the stage there for us. And then obviously, if you want to learn more about Zip Zap, Zip Zap Circus USA.org. You can get all the information there. Brent, you're doing an amazing thing. Again, I mentioned my kids and the different lanes and the different lifestyles and choices that they've made. You are reaching kids in a way that is unique. And as a parent, I appreciate that. As someone who cares for the underprivileged and the at-risk youth, both in our country and across the world, I appreciate that. You're taking a talent that you have you had as a profession, and you're putting it into the world to give back and make the world a better place. So for you, for your wife, for your daughter, for the entire Zip Zap outfit, thank you for that. And thank you, Children's Theater Minnesota, for bringing this to the States. But again, I hope that you can be encouraged by the outpouring of support that you'll get here in Minnesota. Minnesota is known, I don't know how much you know about Minnesota, but Minnesota Nice is kind of the motto of the people here. It's a wonderful arts community, a wonderful town. You're going to get a really warm reception. Your whole cast is going to get a wonderful opportunity here. So we're excited to be on the front end of that and be supportive of that mission there.
So are we. We're super excited. We can't wait to get on the plane next week. So thanks for having us on, mate. And I hope to see you. I'll be there for opening night, and I hope to see you. Please bring your little ones to see it.
We'll be there. I'll seek you out. We'll come say hi. So I appreciate the time. Appreciate everything you're doing, and go support Zip Zap Circus. Zip Zap Circus USA.org and childrenstheater.org to get tickets to attend.